So after talking about our demand shifters, let's talk about the different causes of shifts in supply. Thank you. So let's go ahead and just for reference, get our supply curve on the board. We've got price, we've got quantity, it is upward sloping. We're going to talk about things that shift supply to the right, just to keep things simple. We always know that the opposite is going to shift supply to the left, right? We can figure out the converse of things pretty quickly, so we don't need to doubly explain all this stuff. So the first one, which you're going to see written and defined in different ways. Sometimes you will hear it talked about as the factors of production, or FOP. Sometimes you'll hear it talked about as input prices. Or resources. And so if our market, if the product that we were making was a skateboard, the situation that would have to happen for our supply curve to shift to the right would have to be that one of the inputs becomes cheaper. One of the main inputs in skateboards for the last, 35, 40 years now has been fiberglass. So if the price of fiberglass decreases, that's going to cause my supply to shift to the right. Our second shifter in supply is the technology used. So for the most part, as there's new technology or techniques, things are able to be produced much cheaper, and so supply shifts to the right at any particular price. This does hurt the other way at times. This happened during World War II. It's happening right now in Ukraine, right? If your technology is getting exploded, then your supply is going to shift inwards. So it's not always this progress of technological advancements and, better and better technological ways of producing things. Unfortunately, because we're humans and because we get in our own way, we do have some missteps, and we have a 2-step forwards, 1 step back kind of situation with our technological advances. One of the situations going on right now is our productivity has dropped so much, and a lot of economists think it's because of the technological advances. They're so distracting to us, right? They make us way more productive, but they also cause greater amounts of distraction in classes and in work and stuff like that, and that eventually has a hit on the output numbers, the amount of things that people are able to produce or the amount of services that people are able to provide in any given day, week, month, or whatever the case may be. If you're distracted, you're just going to be less productive. So for the most part, new technology shifts our supply, and it's good. But with all these things, there's always the on the other hand. President Harry S. Truman was famous for complaining at one point, "I want a one-armed economist," because every economic advisor he had would say, well, on the one hand this, and on the other hand this, right? So economics is prone to equivocation, is what I'm trying to say. Our third cause for a shift in supply is one that we are all familiar with here in the West: weather. So weather specifically for ag commodities, but also outdoor recreation and entertainment. So we are, set to, it's like one of the driest years, right? It's like the 10th driest year on record or something like that, right? So, if there's low amounts of precipitation, I messed up. That's going to cause supply to shift to the left. We want to talk about things that are causing supply to shift to the right. So in order to keep things consistent, we're going to say, what if, because of the fact that this year we didn't have a lot of rain, next year we will have a lot of rain? I know that's not the way it works, but we can be hopeful, right? So a shift to the right of supply would have to be a bumper year in terms of rain. That would cause our shift of supply to go to the right. So if the weather is good, whatever good means, right? A lot of rain is not really good during wedding season. A lot of rain isn't especially good for outdoor, ski recreation and stuff like that, right? For cross-country skiing and snowshoeing and things like that, right? You want snow, not rain. So it's just more nuanced than, rain good, not rain bad, right? It just depends on the market that you're figuring out the supply impact. Our fourth shifter in supply is kind of modeling. It's similar to the one that we had before for demand. We're going to talk about the number of sellers. So as the number of sellers increases, that's going to cause the supply to shift to the right. So there's another coffee shop that's coming into town. Where that like cursed laundromat was, that like right on the highway, but it like never worked, and they tried to sell it, and it's been for sale forever. So they finally completely knocked it down, and now there's scooters coming to town, right? And that increase in the sellers is going to cause a shift outward in the supply for Shadron coffee. So this is our new supply curve. This is our old supply curve as a result of the example. There's a new coffee shop. And our last one, which will be our last thing for today, and then I will let you go, The last one that we have is our expectation of future price changes. This is confusing because it's on both the supply and the demand side. But it's not actually that confusing if you put yourself in the shoes of somebody who is selling stuff, right? So put yourself in the shoes of, you know, the person who owns the co-op or something like that, right? If you have an expectation that the price is going to go down in the future, what are you going to want to do? You're going to want to shift your supply to the right and sell as much of that good as you can right now. So if you expect the price to go down in the future, you're going to have a shift in your supply to the right today. All right, that's all for today. I will make sure to get these videos up on YouTube. We will pick up just doing a bunch of problems on Thursday in terms of supply.